It's funny they
Pretty
use the
bad.
term mystery boxes, considering the showrunner's connection to J.J. Abrams and the
I
phone
wonder if
call to
that's a
J.J.
subtle
that got
dig.
him the job in the first place.
Well, so yeah, I mean, you explain that, like, to anyone watching this that
Okay, well,
may not know.
J.J. Abrams, I mean, clearly most people know who he is, but he was touted for the longest time as the next Spielberg. And one thing Steven Spielberg was well known for in Hollywood was ushering in new filmmakers. And back in the 80s, especially, all you had to do was slap Steven Spielberg Presents on it, and it was a hit, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And he did know talent. Like, it was because of him that we have guys like Robert, Zemeckis and Joe Dante, and just to name a couple, that he kind of ushered into the main Hollywood mainstream. And because of that, J.J. Abrams fancied himself the next Steven Spielberg, and it's not all his fault. Hollywood and people around him probably gave him that idea. And just like Steven Spielberg, he wanted to get into producing and helping young filmmakers up and coming. So he has a lot of people that he's helped out. And what he has as well is a lot of people that are loyal to him, and they're basically dug into Hollywood, into almost every project out there, like ticks. And these guys are just another example of the many. Matthew Vaughn is an example of one of them. There's a lot of them out there. Like I said, it's not as surprising in almost every single project nowadays. If it's a reboot of some type, there's generally one of his acolytes, as we like to call them, involved somehow. It just never seems to fail. And even when they are involved, he somehow gets brought up. And this is a prime example, not to be punny with Amazon Prime, but when McKay and Payne basically said, yeah, we called Daddy JJ and he got us a job, because for 10 years we wrote and never got a job, and now we do. To me, it's like, if you've been working for 10 years and you ain't got a job yet, that's you. You're the problem. So, we lost Paulie.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he'll drop back in when he can. Yeah, I mean, you're right there. Like, so something we'll talk about in a minute, which leads into this anyway. We talk about Rings of Power for a little bit longer, but what leads into this is how so Patrick McKay and J.D. Payne, they had written Star Trek 4. They'd written a Star Trek 4 story, and it was awful. But again, it's ties to J.J. Abrams, but even if he didn't want to approve that script, obviously taking it to is it Paramount? Yeah, it's Paramount, isn't it? That do the Star Trek stuff. So even he didn't want to take that to Paramount on their behalf, but he's happy to call up Amazon because he doesn't have a working relationship with them, and just be like, "Yo, can these guys come and work for you, please?" But he has a working relationship with Paramount, so I reckon that's why he didn't. That.
Well, Star Trek 4 just fell apart because they couldn't get the actors to sign on, and they were the ones that famously came up with the concept of Kirk going back and meeting his dad. There was no way that was going to get made, because at that point, Chris Hemsworth, who played his dad in the first film, would have cost way too much with Chris Pine and everybody else. And that was the problem they kept running into, is getting funding. Nobody wanted to put, because the last movie didn't make any damn money. That's why. We're never going to get a Star Trek 4. JJ is desperate to get a Star Trek 4 made, because I think the clock is ticking on his license agreement with them. So it should have been up already by some people's standards, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think Discovery and some other things that he got involved in kind of tangentially helped move that along. But welcome back, Paulie.
Yeah, welcome back, Paulie. But isn't it just absolutely incredible that J.J. Abrams just phones up Amazon and gets them the job?
What's more incredible is they admitted it. That's the thing to me.
Yeah.
That's the thing to me. I'm not surprised that it happened. I'm more surprised that they admitted it, because that's the thing. Because the other part they said in the article, in the interview, that blew my mind, is they said, for 10 years we've been working, and I think they've even been working closely with JJ besides the Star Trek thing. But they're like, for 10 years we were working. We had the right director, the right actors, all this stuff together, but the movie never happened. And it's like, well, if that's the case, and it's been 10 years. Sounds like you're the fucking problem here. I mean, if you've been dating a guy for 10 years and he doesn't ask you to marry him, that's not going to happen. And this is just it. Find a different guy, because at this point you're not going to get married to this one. And JJ doing them this favor, probably because he felt bad about the Star Trek thing, to be honest with you, Mr. H. I don't think it was so much that he was afraid to take, because JJ is so desperate, and I mean so desperate to get a Star Trek 4 off the ground. He's willing to do anything. Like,
good money for him, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that Hollywood is starting to figure out too, is that the only people who seem to make money off of these Bad Robot productions is Bad Robot. So like that's kind of becoming the saying in Hollywood right now.
Yeah, bad reboots. I mean, so please.
Nepotism isn't exclusive to Hollywood, but
no,
you know, the way it shows the ugly side right there. And also too, when these people talk, the two showrunners, you realize they have no idea what material they have on their hands. And it's just it's almost embarrassing to hardworking writers and directors and actors that are doing great work, or at least trying to read something like that. But I'm not surprised, man. It's just a joke. If the writing was the prank in She-Hulk, then those guys are the freaking joke of this whole Amazon. It's really insulting to the Tolkien fandom. It's really it's depressing. It's insulting. It's, like I said, to call it garbage is an offense to garbage.
Paulie there with the brutal but very realistic home truth about Lord of the Rings.